Sunlit, rain and...
For crying out loud, will you listen?
I understand everything now. Oh, it's just like Siren.
The Brady Bunch. Not as perfect as you think. Behind the image of a happy family are secrets that have been completely hidden by cutting them out. The Brady Bunch, the iconic 70s family television series, is famous for its heartwarming and humorous stories revolving around the lives of the Brady family. An ideal blended household with 6 mischievous kids and countless laugh-out-loud situations. With its polished appearance, loving bonds between family members, and positive messages about familial love, the show quickly became a symbol of perfection in the eyes of millions of fans. However, behind the glimmer of its success lies a darker side that the producers worked hard to hide. Numerous deleted scenes, production errors, and controversial details were entirely omitted to preserve the ideal family image that the show sought to portray. Some of these deleted scenes even contained sensitive content that didn't align with the show's wholesome message. These secrets remained buried for years, but they are the key to uncovering the truth about a seemingly flawless production. So why were the producers so determined to hide these mistakes? What do they reveal about the show's production process? Let's dive into the surprising backstage world of the Brady Bunch to uncover the shocking truths behind this legendary television icon. Unexpected behind-the-scenes stories. The Brady Bunch is not only famous for its humorous and heartwarming on-screen tales, but is also filled with shocking behind-the-scenes stories that left a deep impression on fans. One of the most memorable moments is the scene where Marcia Brady gets hit square in the face with a ball. What few people know is that the ball strike was completely real. Initially, Christopher Knight, Peter Brady, tried throwing the ball but repeatedly missed the target, forcing producer Lloyd Schwartz to step in himself. The result was a critical throw that hit Maureen McCormick, Marcia, directly in the face. Since her face was already swollen from a previous fall, the bruise seen in the scene was entirely natural, not makeup. A moment that was both painful and hilarious, where a real-life accident created an iconic on-screen scene. The behind-the-scenes drama didn't stop there. It's got even more interesting when Barry Williams, Greg Brady, revealed that he had a massive crush on Florence Henderson, who played his on-screen mother. At the time, Barry was just 16 years old, while Florence was 36. Determined not to let the age gap hold him back, Barry mustered the courage to ask Florence out to dinner, and she agreed, simply to humour the teenage boy. However, the media at the time blew the story out of proportion, turning it into a real-life mother and son scandal, causing widespread misinterpretations. Although Florence repeatedly clarified that the dinner was completely innocent, Barry admitted that she was the first woman to give him butterflies in his stomach. A naive teenage crush, yet it became one of the most shocking behind-the-scenes stories of the show. Barry Williams caused yet another stir on set when he showed up for filming in a marijuana-induced state. Relaxing in true 70s fashion, Barry had smoked marijuana, only to be urgently called back to the set to complete a supplemental scene for the episode Law and Disorder. When he arrived, Barry was visibly sluggish, with bloodshot eyes and robotic line delivery. The production team quickly noticed his state and had to rewrite the script to reduce his role in the episode. Later, Barry admitted it was a youthful mistake and vowed never to let it happen again. But Barry wasn't the only one with a turbulent behind-the-scenes story. Maureen McCormick, Marcia Brady, had her own struggles. After the Brady Bunch ended, Maureen fell into a spiral of depression and drug addiction. She often attended all-night parties at the Playboy Mansion and missed significant opportunities, such as auditioning for Raiders of the Lost Ark directed by Steven Spielberg, simply because she was high on drugs. However, Maureen bravely overcame her struggles, leaving behind her self-destructive lifestyle to rebuild her life. Behind Marcia Brady's radiant smile lies an inspiring journey, proving that even those who seem perfect must face harsh challenges. The behind-the-scenes stories of the Brady Bunch not only reveal the hidden struggles of its cast, but also provide a more authentic perspective on life beyond the screen. These stories have made the show feel even more relatable, leaving a special mark in the hearts of audiences across generations. 2. Strange and funny. Production details. Have you ever noticed that the Brady family's bathroom doesn't have a toilet? Don't worry, it's not a design flaw, but the result of a bizarre television regulation in the 70s. At the time, showing toilets on TV was considered indecent and unsuitable for family audiences. As a result, the Brady family's bathroom only featured a sink and a shower, but no toilet. This turned their bathroom into a peculiar symbol, and later, audiences often joked that it was a magic bathroom where no one ever seemed to actually use the toilet. But the peculiarities didn't stop at the bathroom. Hair colour also became a significant issue for the producers. Initially, actress Debbie Storm was cast as Jan Brady, but she was fired simply because her hair colour didn't match the family aesthetic. The producers wanted the Brady sisters to have a cohesive appearance, and Debbie's darker hair didn't fit with Marsha and Cindy's. As a result, Debbie was replaced by Eve Plum. To make it up to Debbie, she was invited back to play Molly Webber, one of Marsha's classmates, in a later episode. This story highlights the strict standards of Hollywood, where even small details like hair colour could determine an actor's career. Speaking of Jan Brady, who could forget the episode Will the Real Jan Brady Please Stand Up?, where Jan wore a black wig to impress her friends. But what's even more interesting is that this episode contained a subtle Easter egg. In the episode, the party Jan attends is hosted by a girl named Lucy. This name wasn't random. It was a tribute to Pamela Ferdin, the guest actress who played Lucy, who was famous for voicing Lucy Van Pelt in the classic animated series Peanuts. A small but charming detail, showcasing the production team's thoughtfulness. These strange and funny details not only made the Brady Bunch behind the scenes intriguing, but also added to the show's unique charm. Behind the perfect exterior are unexpected details that sometimes make us laugh, but they have all contributed to creating a classic television masterpiece. 3. Controversial deleted scenes. Although the Brady Bunch is known for its cheerful and light-hearted stories, it wasn't immune to controversial or edited scenes that didn't align with broadcast standards of the time. Many scenes were completely removed from reruns or online versions, making them secrets only known to die-hard fans or those who own the show's DVDs. One of the most talked-about deleted scenes involves Alice, the family's devoted housekeeper. In an unaired full episode, Bobby and Cindy, the youngest Brady children, were preparing to swim in their new neighbour's pool. When Alice accidentally encountered the two kids in the kitchen, the scene took a bizarre turn. Bobby and Cindy, wearing only bathrobes, innocently revealed that they weren't wearing swimsuits and were planning to skinny dip. Alice, ever the cautious caretaker, checked to see if Bobby was wearing an old, torn swimsuit, only to discover that he wasn't wearing anything at all. And neither was Cindy. This scene was originally intended to be humorous, but after its initial airing, it sparked discomfort among viewers and broadcasters due to its inappropriate content involving children. As a result, the scene was cut from all future broadcasts. Interestingly, the scene still exists in some DVD versions of the show, becoming one of the backstage secrets that fans have discussed for years. Another often mentioned deleted scene comes from the episode My Brother's Keeper in Season 5. In this episode, Bobby saves Peter from a serious accident by pushing him out of the way of a falling ladder. However, the ladder tips over a bucket of paint, covering Bobby from head to toe. The original broadcast included a light-hearted scene where Bobby, covered in paint, stands in the yard and is sprayed with a garden hose to clean up. In this scene, Bobby recounts the incident to Marsha while trying to scrub the paint off himself, creating a comedic moment to ease the tension from the earlier dangerous situation. However, when the episode was later edited for reruns, this scene was cut because it was deemed unnecessary and disrupted the main storyline. In streaming and rebroadcast versions, this scene is entirely absent. However, for those who own the DVD, it remains intact, serving as a fun and nostalgic Easter egg for devoted fans. In addition to deleted scenes, the Brady Bunch was riddled with minor production errors that viewers sometimes overlooked. One of the most common mistakes involved the actors accidentally calling each other by their real names instead of their character names. In the episode What Goes Up, Florence Henderson, as Carol Brady, mistakenly called Peter by the actor's real name, Christopher Knight. Similarly, in the episode Amateur Night, Maureen McCormick, as Marsha Brady, also called Christopher Knight Chris instead of Peter. These errors likely stemmed from the close relationships among the cast, as they frequently addressed each other by their real names off-screen. Notably, the editing team didn't fix these mistakes, leaving them visible in the final episodes. Beyond dialogue errors, the show also featured an amusing mistake related to the design of the Brady family's house. In the episode You Can't Win Them All, the tiled entryway of the house had a few missing tiles, disrupting the continuity of the design. This detail contradicted the image of Mike Brady, a meticulous and talented architect who should have owned a perfectly designed house. Two theories have been suggested to explain this error. It might have been an oversight by the prop design team, or perhaps the missing tiles were the result of mischievous antics by the Brady boys. Regardless of the reason, this detail highlights the imperfections in the production process, but also adds a sense of relatability and charm to the show. The deleted scenes and minor errors in the Brady Bunch not only became intriguing topics of discussion, but also provided a unique glimpse into the behind-the-scenes world of a classic television show. These imperfections contributed to the show's enduring appeal, making it a beloved cultural icon across generations. 4. Secrets and unique creative decisions. Robert Reed, the perfect father Mike Brady beloved by audiences, was, in reality, not fond of the role. A classically trained Shakespearean actor, Robert aspired to take on deep, artistic roles. However, he found himself stuck in a family sitcom that he frequently criticised as shallow and ridiculous. Robert didn't hesitate to voice his dissatisfaction with the Brady Bunch scripts. He often sent detailed notes to the writing team, demanding rewrites of scenes he deemed unrealistic. One notable example was the series finale, where the Brady family builds a restaurant in just one day. Robert vehemently opposed this, calling it an insult to the audience's intelligence. However, his complaints often fell on deaf ears, leading to escalating tension between him and producer Sherwood Schwartz. This tension culminated in the series finale, where Robert refused to participate, leaving a significant void in the Brady family's farewell dinner. Despite his dissatisfaction with the role, Robert delivered an outstanding performance as the warm, loving father figure, so much so that audiences never suspected his frustrations throughout the show's 5 seasons. The inspiration for the Brady Bunch is also an interesting story. Sherwood Schwartz, the show's creator, came up with the idea after reading a 1965 article in the Los Angeles Times. The article revealed that 31% of American families at the time were blended families, where parents remarried and brought children from previous marriages to live together under one roof. This was a groundbreaking topic at the time, and Sherwood wanted to create a sitcom reflecting this societal change. Initially, he wrote a script titled Yours and Mine, but no network wanted to produce it, as they believed audiences wouldn't accept a non-traditional family. However, when the 1968 film Yours, Mine and Ours, starring Lucille Ball, became a massive hit, networks changed their minds. They quickly greenlit The Brady Bunch, which premiered in 1969. To ensure the show resonated with audiences, producers made significant changes to the original storyline. Originally, Carol Brady, the stepmother, was written as a divorced woman, a realistic reflection of blended families. However, in the 1960s, divorce was still a sensitive topic, especially on family television. Networks worried that portraying Carol as divorced might alienate viewers. As a result, this detail was eliminated entirely. While Mike Brady was explicitly described as a widower, Carol's past was left ambiguous, never clarified as divorced or widowed. Casting the Brady family was another meticulous process. Sherwood Schwartz placed great emphasis on the aesthetic harmony of the family, requiring the cast members to look cohesive. Specifically, the children's hair colours needed to match those of their parents. When Florence Henderson, Carol Brady, was cast with her blonde hair, the actresses playing her daughters also had to have blonde hair. Mike Lookinland, who played Bobby Brady, naturally had brown hair but was required to dye it blonde for all 5 seasons to maintain the perfect family image. This demonstrates the producers' strict standards in creating an idealized family for the screen, even if it caused inconvenience for the young actors. Perhaps the most surprising aspect of the Brady Bunch is how its cultural success didn't come during its initial run. Throughout its 5 seasons, the show never ranked among the top 30 most watched TV programs. Critics at the time were unimpressed, calling it overly sweet and unrealistic. However, when the show was re-aired, reruns, in the afternoons during the 70s and 80s, a new generation of young viewers, primarily school children, fell in love with it. The light-hearted family stories, humour, and simple yet meaningful life lessons turned the Brady Bunch into a cultural phenomenon. These reruns not only salvaged the show's reputation, but also paved the way for numerous spin-offs, films, and cast reunions. This proves that success doesn't always happen immediately. Sometimes, it requires the right timing. So, we've just uncovered fascinating behind-the-scenes stories, lesser-known secrets, and the unique creative decisions that shaped the timeless appeal of the Brady Bunch. While the show wasn't perfect, it was precisely those humorous details, controversies, and the hard work of the production team that turned the Brady Bunch into a cultural icon, living on in the hearts of audiences across generations. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss out on more captivating stories about classic films and TV shows. Feel free to leave a comment below to share your thoughts or suggest topics you'd like us to explore in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.